how's everybody doing? This is Sean and I'm back. I had a few strikes on my channel, so they were kind enough to suspend my channel for something they didn't even tell me what I did wrong. YouTube, that is. It said medical misinformation, which I wasn't even speaking about any kind of medical things. So I was talking about Tucker Carlson being an actual person that's working and involved with the CIA, and his father was involved with that stuff in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. These folks play you, and I've been saying this for years. The man Tucker wrote for a lot of Democratic papers, and for the Democrats, and they'll be able to change at will. They're all characters, and the main thing that these folks do is, the reason I'm showing you this footage here, is you see the reality of where I'm at. Like, I'm in Port Orange, Florida. I'm under the Port Orange Bridge, and I am fishing with Joshua, and we're over here checking out the, you can see the inlet down there, and that's the reality of things. Well, the way to control societies without firing a shot is to control the narrative. David Hume used to call it public opinion, and that's because they didn't have the word propaganda yet. So that's what's going on. They use Twitter and Facebook and all these social media platforms that the truth community took over for a little while and was spreading truth, and then they silenced that. And if we lived in a society that was run correctly, these folks would be sued because they're acting like publishers and editors, and they're not just letting people make videos. And that goes to freedom of speech. Like, freedom of speech is not any good if you agree with what everybody's saying. Freedom of speech is good if you don't agree with what people say, and you have to listen and try to come up with a proper way of surviving around people, getting along in a community, and that community turns strong, and then they have the same people with the same opinions and moral and agreements on norms of society, and that makes a nation. And this is what they're doing. They're destroying. It's a small percentage of people destroying this through false narrative. And as I said, you can use the Twitter and put out something, and then AOC's perfect at it. She's one of the best at it. She'll throw something out there, like I'm fishing right now, see how people react to it, and then if she gets the reaction she wants, she'll keep going with that narrative. She's a CIA operative. Unfortunately, there's proof out there and evidence out there that the majority of the people in Congress and in the Senate are compromised by the CIA, if not flat out just agents. Nobody's working for you. There is no democratic republic. There's none of that stuff. You live in a corporate oligarchy. You have been living in a corporate oligarchy since 1871. You're not liberated, you're emancipated. There's a big difference. Liberation gives you the ability to do whatever you want and go anywhere you want without restrictions. Like the billionaires do. They get on a plane, they want to go to Italy to have dinner, they do that, and then they go to California and do whatever they want. Then in the next minute, they fly, they're jet setters. They do whatever they want. They are liberated, and they're laughing at you, the general population, with this Republican, Democrat, mega thing, all that. Don't you think that Trump was allowed to go on CNN to start, to start controversy? Because that's what it's all about. The big surprise is coming is when the digital currency hits. And that's when all the fun starts, folks. So, I have another channel. I'm on Rumble, and I will be on Odyssey also. Rumble, they have freedom of speech over there. And you can have your comments, no one's taking your comments down or nothing like that, unless you're Citizen Man. And that guy is a grifter, and I exposed him for the QAnon bullshit, because it's bullshit. he's spreading half truth, and actually he's spreading medical misinformation on his channel. So I exposed that asshole on Rumble, and I am going to expose a lot of people that are causing us problems in the truth community, and I am going to expose YouTube for being censoring people's comments and their work. And in the future, when Trump wins, because he will win, because he is the Antichrist, and he is going to win hands down, and he will annihilate the journalism. It'll be annihilated. You'll see people being arrested, executed for treason, all kinds of stuff. He's going to go after his enemies, and you folks are going to get what you want. Just remember, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. And Trump is not praying to the same God you are. Neither is Biden. These people are compromised. They are being, there's too much, they have a lot of, how do I put it without getting, causing a problem, but let's say that the Rothschild family has a lot invested into Trump and into Biden. It's what you're watching with Biden and Trump is you're watching WWE Hulk Hogan against the Andre the Giant thing. You know what I mean? One's loud, obnoxious, charismatic, and the other one doesn't know what day it is. And everybody's like, well, Biden has doubles or whatever. They all have doubles, folks. That's the way they keep people safe. Ronald Reagan, after Ronald Reagan got shot, they didn't fuck around no more. They started putting people out there that looked like the people that were out there to keep the other people safe. But he's had so much plastic surgery done and the boxing, so much done to his face, he literally changed the way his face looks. And I don't really think he's no longer with us. I mean, I don't have proof on it, but it doesn't, the things that are said. Because the fact of the matter is this, folks. I'm from Pennsylvania, and in that area, people have a certain accent, and they have it for the rest of their life. Like I say water, and words like that, and it's different than any person else. But this fella, he's had that same accent, the Delaware, Pennsylvania accent, all of his life, a heavy accent at that, and it's not as heavy as it used to be, put it that way. So that's a whole different subject. I'm just saying, I'm back. I'll be making videos, and they're just not going to let you. They're going to take down channels, and people are leaving YouTube by the groves. I mean, Steven Crowder, Salty Cracker, a lot of people that have a lot of people on YouTube that watch them and stuff, and even art programs. They're all leaving. They're turning YouTube into regular television, basically. That's what they're trying to do. And they're reading off people like us that just they're everyday people that are going to debunk their bullshit. So I don't have no hatred towards anybody. I'm going to focus on exposing the best that I can what's coming up, and I am going to watch my language, because I am trying to get closer to Christ and change my ways about how I speak, and not lose my temper, and articulate my thoughts better, and have more of a channel where I'm not just getting angry and using profanity to describe these scumbags. But we are still going to do rigged and scripted football times with Coach Script, because we have to mock these idiots and expose NFL for being rigged and scripted too. So just wanted to share this, talk about something different for a minute. See how beautiful this place is, man. That fella Jake the asshole got a van and stuff and was traveling around. He was saying he's gonna travel around. Dude, if you ever come down here to Daytona Beach, Florida, it's beautiful, and it's not expensive to get places to park your vehicles for overnight and stuff. There's a couple parks in Port Orange, and they're have their showers and all that stuff too. But this pier and this bridge down here, it's beautiful down here, man. You can do fishing times. It's dog friendly. It's pet friendly and stuff. So if you have a pet or whatever, and it's beautiful, And there's also restaurants across the street here. We go over the bridge, and we go over there, and there'll be a restaurant to the left over there, and then one of the best pizza places around, in my opinion, Genovese's. It's amazing pizza, and they do a good price on it, and they've been in business for 40 years or more. So if you go around Florida, dude, and come down this area, it's quiet and there ain't too much crime and shit, so you're safe, you know, parking your vehicle and stuff. Because this fella's traveling in a van across the country to see states and stuff. So, and you know, if you ever come around this area, you can hit me up and I'll show you around, and there's places around that, or to, you know, to have good dinners, and they're just pretty cool places all around in general. They're historical also, and it doesn't cost any money to see them. So, like the lighthouse down there, you can see it down there, and it might be something you can use to debunk these global people too, because there is a lighthouse down there, and that shit's fucking flat as it can get, man. You can see miles and miles and miles of the boats down there. They're shrimp boats, fishing boats. You can see for miles. You zoom in with your camera, you just, as far as your eye can see, flat as it gets. And then there's lightning storms down there, so when the lightning hits the ocean, you can see the you know, really detailed how flat it really is, and how things like the fish and stuff are glowing from getting hit by fucking water, excuse me, from getting hit by electrical bolt, you know. I mean, massive, half a mile of like pink stuff coming off the ocean after the lightning hits it. It's amazing. And then, as I said before, I got the video of the rocket going up too, and probably hit the firmament. That's why it blew up like that, because it was going up, and then stop. And you notice that even with that fellow RV Truth was saying that he's right about that. They do fly the rockets across out in the Atlantic Ocean, and that's where they pick them up from Cape Cod. Because I seen that too when I was fishing. I used to fish out there, and we've seen a lot of stuff. I mean, just normal shit. The rocket would go up. They say it was going to space or whatever, and then, you know, the boosters and all that shit, and the rocket itself would, you know, run out of gas or whatever, and it would fall right down to the Atlantic Ocean, and then there'd be helicopters and boats and shit to retrieve all the things and to get it back or whatever. So I'm gonna do a little fishing, and I just want to let everybody know that, you know, my channel on YouTube and in Rumble is Grifterbuster, and like I say, there's a bunch of guys on here. They know the times are up, and they're trying to get money, as much money as they can, off their Patreons, and asking for bullshit. And anybody starts talking about QAnon or Blue Anon or any of that stuff, just keep going on. They're going to give you partial truths, and they're just out here to get your money. And the one guy was actually a con artist, not the Citizen Man fella. He's not doing business like that. He's just asking for money. But there's another fella that was asking you to sign up for gold and silver, and somehow he got your account numbers, and he didn't do business correctly with you, and he lives in Brazil. So there were people trying to get a hold of him on Rumble, and I saw that, and I was like, of course there's a QAnon. The whole thing is a grift. It's all CIA operative. Look, the best hope that we have is not Trump, but Jesus Christ for sure. That's the only savior we have against these demons and Luciferians. But JFK Jr., if he becomes president, they're done. All those agencies are finished. He's going to dissolve them all, and he's going to prosecute them all correctly, because he's an attorney, and they whacked his dad and his brother, his uncle, and his cousin, in my opinion, JFK Jr., because he would have beat Hillary Clinton for the senator seat in New York, and he happened to lose his plane. I mean, he had to have a plane crash, and, you know, their bodies weren't found, allegedly. I think that's the case. It happened in 1999, and that was horrible. He was a nice fellow. He seemed to be a nice fellow. RFK Jr. seems to be a nice fellow, and he doesn't take bullshit. So what I think is going to happen in the end, I know this sounds weird, but I think that Trump and RFK Jr. hook up as vice president and president. They're going to, because both of them are looking for vengeance, unfortunately, and Trump is evil. And I'm not saying that RFK Jr. is evil. I just know his heart's hurt because he lost his dad by these people, and he lost his uncle because of these people, and also his cousin. So, and they were all close, their first cousin, and all that stuff. But there's one family responsible for this, folks. The Rothschild family. They're Ashkenazi Jews is what they're called. And they're the radical ones that want to genocide the Gentiles. They're the radical ones. And the funny part about it is the Rothschilds aren't even properly, they're not Jewish. They're actually Turkish. They come from a Turkish bloodline. And the Bible talks about these folks. They used to be Baccarat and all these other names they've called themselves over the last 2,000, 3,000 years. Their name, they changed it to Rothschild. So people wouldn't connect the dots to the dog barking when you talk about evil like that. Unbelievable. So yeah, they changed their name and to hide the truth, of who they really are. And you want to see a fun fact? I'm just going to say this. The war that's going on in Ukraine and Russia isn't what it appears to be. Okay, I'm going to say that. There's a lot of particular people on both sides that have infiltrated the Russians, and they already infiltrated Ukraine. There's 150,000 of them there, and there's about 555,000 of them in Russia. And they're called Ashkenazi, Ashkenazi Jews. Okay, or however, I'm not proper on how to say it, but it's the way it is, folks. They're trying to change your reality, and that's how they're going to try to catch you. So be strong in the Lord, for the Lord loves you, Jesus loves you, and so do I. And we'll be making more videos, fun videos, and I'm also just letting you know my other channel is Grifterbuster, and that's I had two of them. I had Shaz Grifterbuster, and that was going after card people that were doing bad business on shading cards and stealing people's money on fake sports cards and things like that. So I was busting them on that. And then I had Grifterbuster about 7 or 8 years ago on here, and that got taken down. So then now I got Grifterbuster again, and we'll see what happens with that one. So any support, the only support I ask is that you just go over there and subscribe to the channel. And if you're interested in the things I say in our friendship that we've accumulated over the last 8 years, the people that are on my channel, and you're my friends and my family, and I love you guys, and I want to keep in touch with you, and I'd like to hear your opinions and stuff, and that's why I'm sharing my other outlets. And as you know, I do not ask for money. I do this for free. I'll never ask you for money. I'll never ask for any kind of charity or nothing. If you want to help your community, the money you want to donate to my channel, donate to your local communities, food banks, and whatever it is to help your community, and that will suffice for me. So thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later.